Hello everyone and welcome back to my new Worm Whisperer video. Thank you for supporting my channel and all the views and comments and feedback you are providing. This is so much appreciated. Today's video is all about the best kitchen scraps you can add to your worm bin that will maximize your worm castings nutrient content and feed your worms better than ever. Here are some awesome organic food scraps that can take your worm bin and your worm castings to the next level. Many worm farmers can overlook the nutrient content in your worm bin from the scraps they are adding. But these are an important thing in your worm bin. Adding certain types of scraps are going to add nutrients to keep the worms you are farming healthy after being processed by the worms and add great nutrient value to your garden for plants and potted plants. Banana peels. Banana peels contain no nitrogen, so they will not heat your bin like other high nitrogen food scraps. Banana peels do contain high levels of some micronutrients that are very important to plant growth. Some of them are calcium that will help your worms break down organic material in the bin and keep your worms healthy and strong. Manganese is very high in banana peels and aid your plants with photosynthesis. They also contain sodium, magnesium, and sulfur. One of the most important nutrients they will provide for your soil and the worm's health is phosphorus. Banana peels are 3.25% phosphorus is one of the major nutrients plants and worms need to grow and thrive. You can feed them by grinding them up, freezing them, or adding them whole to the bin. They will break down quickly, making them a great food for your worms. I highly recommend banana peels if you are a new worm farmer. Apple peels and apple cores would have to be the best buffet of worm food you can serve to your worms. Worms love apple peels. Feed your apple scraps to the worms will keep your worms well fed, and it doesn't matter if they are brown, moldy, or rotten for that matter. Apple peels are perfect because they are thin and have lots of surface area for the worms to get at when they're eating. Apple peels are full of organic nutrients that will break down in the bin as the worms eat them. They are also an excellent source of sugars for the bacteria and fungi to feed on in the bin. Apples are 86% water, so they are excellent to feed if you have a dry worm bin. In your garden, the broken down apple peels and cores will give easy potassium to your plants and give you better flowers and healthier roots on all your vegetables. You can add them whole, ground, or frozen. Ground up eggshells. Personally, I think eggshells should be a must in every worm bin. The worms don't eat them directly as a food source. They provide healthy grit for the worms to grind up other foods in their gizzards. As soon as you add them, they will start to break down in your worm bin. While breaking down, they will release calcium into your bin. This is not only an amazing nutrient element that the plant can use in the worm castings, it is also perfect little home for bacteria and fungi to grow in your bin. When the worms ingest it, also breaks down into some extent in the worm's gizzard, providing your worms with a healthy source of calcium. You can add eggshells to your bin, either whole, broken into pieces, or ground into a powder. If you don't have eggshells, ground or broken up, seashells also work the same way as a substitute. And you can pick these up along any beach or ocean. You can find snail shells along just about any beach, and these can also be used and broken up with a hammer and added to your worm bin. Watermelon rinds or skins. These are great for more than a few reasons. One of the reasons I love to use them as bait for the worms when I need to start another bin. Worms can't resist these things. Put them in, skin down in your bin, and in a few days there will be handfuls of worms when you lift them up. You can easily just get them out and move them. They also have lots of water content if you need a bit more moisture in your worm bin. These are really easy for the worms to break down once they find them in your bin. The rinds also contain nitrogen and micronutrients for your plants. They are also excellent for baiting mites in your bin. If you wanted to see how many mites are in your bin, you can use some water and melon rinds. Some of them can be bigger, so you're best to cut them into chunks, although you can serve them whole to your worms. Just be careful of the water content and not to add too many at one time to get your worms too wet. Leafy lettuce and other greens. Another high nitrogen food that worms will love, as well as your plants, once the worms have broken them down, is leafy greens like lettuce. Worms can eat any kind of lettuce, which is why it is awesome for your worm bin. Remember, if you are feeding your worms lettuce, if you bought it at the store and you don't know where or what was used on it to spray it, it's a great idea to first wash it before adding it to your bin. Lettuce is 95% water, so it works awesome to keep your bin moist in drier months. This also makes it super easy for your worms to break down in your bin, giving you more worm castings faster. You can freeze it or serve it fresh to your worms. It will break down quickly for them to eat in the bin. It will not matter to the worms if it is moldy or going brown before you add it to the bin. In fact, this will allow the worms to enjoy it even quicker. I picked these foods for your bin because they are full of valuable nutrients for your plants, and the worms can break them down quickly into worm castings. This list is by no means extensive. However, it is good for getting worms castings as quickly as possible in your worm bin, as the worms can break them down very quickly. Thank you for joining me on this learning video today, everyone. I wish you all happy worm farming. As always, if you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, please don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And I wish you all happy worm farming, and I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining me.